How's it going, Fit Fam? Welcome back to another episode of Science with Valencia. I hope that you're having a good day, and I want to go over a topic that I know a ton of you guys have been curious about, asking about, and wondering why things are like this. Now, for those of you that have a MyZone and have been tracking your calories, or even if you have one of the fitness watches and tracking your calories, I can almost guarantee that this question has come up in your head at least one time, if not every single time you work out. So I'm here to answer that. And that question really is, men versus women. Why do men seem to burn more calories during the workout than women do? Why is it like this? Why does it seem unfair? Shouldn't we all just kind of be burning the same amount of calories? And I'm here to tell you, no. That's not how it works. That's not how it is, but it's not for a bad reason, and it's not for anything negative. It's simply biology, and on top of that, there's some reasons that we justify it pretty much so. So, of course, like I said, on the MyZone, there's a ton of different stats. There's all this stuff going on, a bunch of colors. But at the end of your workout, when we're cooling down, the only thing anybody pays attention to is what percentage they were in, how much little red bars are in that screen or yellow bars, and also how many calories were burned at the end of the day. Now, I got two examples right here, all right? I got Jack and I got Jill. As you can see, both of them had the same amount of red, the same amount of blue, but Jack managed to burn 487 calories while Jill burned 291 calories. Same 30-minute workout, same intensity. Let's all imagine that in a vacuum, they're all doing the exact same thing, and effort level, volume, everything is perfectly even. And so it seems like Jack just magically won because he burned a ton more calories than Jill did in the same amount of time. And I completely understand that. I understand your frustration, ladies. I get it, 100%. But there's a lot of things that go into it, and one of the biggest things that goes into it is testosterone. Now, we all know that men have testosterone, or a higher amount of testosterone than women. Women have a higher estrogen level than men. And testosterone is a really big benefactor when it comes to burning calories and kind of making sure that men are running a little bit hotter on the end of things. Just like on the last video where I said, you burn more calories through the thermogenic effect. In a way, this helps. But really, the higher testosterone you have, the higher your metabolic rate is. All that really means is the rate in which you metabolize things, or the rate in which you burn those calories, and you're burning everything through. So men naturally have a higher rate in which they're burning calories naturally because they have a higher testosterone level. And of course, along with that, they have a higher increase, or they'll have a naturally higher increase in muscle mass, or getting muscle mass, because testosterone does aid a ton in building muscle. So when men are working out and they're doing stuff, they have a tendency to grow muscle a lot faster than women because the testosterone level is a lot higher. Now, to each their own, everybody's different. Depends on your testosterone levels, depends on your estrogen levels, on how well you can develop muscle in just this, in this sense, especially when we're catering to hormones. But another thing, testosterone affects different parts of your body, whether it's your digestive system and how we deal with all that. So that's also another different thing. So let's just imagine that one of the bigger things between Jack and Jill is that Jack's testosterone level is significantly higher than Jill's because he biologically has higher testosterone due to his male genetics. Now, that brings me on to the next point. On top of testosterone, men and women hold fat in different areas in their body. Men will hold it more in their chest area. That's why you see guys with the big old bellies, because they're holding it in their abdomen, and that's more visceral fat. That's fat that's in the organ area and holding onto there. While women and females have gynoid fat, and that's where they primarily store everything. So that's going to be in their hips, in their legs, in their glutes, all those areas where you typically would think that it would go. And so when we burn fat from the visceral area, our metabolism actually starts to skyrocket more. It starts to increase, it starts to burn more because that weight's coming off of the organs, and so it's able to function at a higher level. Now, when we're coming to the gynoid fat, the fat that's around the hips and waist area-ish and the legs, it doesn't have the same thermic effect. It's more of you're putting on muscle mass and you're losing the fat cells, but those are there mostly for reproductive purposes, for having children and being able to have that storage of fat on demand in an area that doesn't command too much energy or too much effort for it. Because that's another thing you got to remember. No matter how hard I try, I can't have a kid. It's not going to happen. I can't do that. But for females, that's one of the things that you're naturally gifted at. You have that ability. So your body wants to hold on to that fat in that reason. That way, when the time comes, it's able, prepared, and ready to do that. So that's also another reason why they're stored in different areas. And so, moving forward with that, let me flip my whiteboard right here. the calories that you see or the calories that you perceived are burned do not equal the effort level or the intensity that you've worked out with. So if Jack burns almost 500 calories and Joe burns 200 calories, it doesn't mean that Jack worked out harder. It doesn't mean that he had a better workout. It doesn't mean that he did more. It's not equal. Causation does not equal correlation. Because this happened does not mean this. And that needs to be a really big point that's brought across, because of course, it's very simple to just look at numbers in a screen and look at stats and to think, oh, well, they apparently did better. How can I do better in that aspect? If you work out for longer, you will burn more calories. That is a technicality, but it doesn't exactly work in that way of the effort level. Now, we have to look at men's BMRs, their basal metabolic rate. All that means is the amount of calories you need in order to function and survive. I talked about that in a past video. So when we're talking about BMR, men naturally have a higher BMR. So one of the things that you might not be including in that is the amount of calories ingested by males versus females. So if a male is working out and they burn maybe 200 plus calories more than a female did, you're not considering the fact that they're also having to eat anywhere from 400 to probably 1,000 in order to get the same fat loss results in that level. So they might be burning more, but they're also having to eat more in order to get at the same level you are. So this is a pretty basic equation right here that I just kind of jotted up. It's not, the math is just very simple. You can search this up in your own. But essentially, a male, their BMR, let's say it's around 1,800 calories is their BMR, their basal metabolic rate, what they need to survive. And then their TDE, I'm forgetting an E right there, but their total daily expenditure is around another 1,000. So we go out, their grand total for the day of calories needed to survive and calories that they're going to burn because of their activity is already at 2,800. So if they want to go to a fat loss phase, let's subtract about 600 calories from it to get a decent amount off. Usually if we're trying to lose a pound, we're only taking off maybe 500 calories. But for this one, we're going to be a little bit more extreme. And so they're at 2,200 calories a day in order to lose about a little over a pound a week. And for those of you on the challenge, that's kind of how we do things, around half a pound to a pound to figure out what your goals are. Now, with a female, their BMR is around 1,200. Then with the total daily expenditure, that's another 500 on top of it. So they're at 1,700 for the amount that you need to survive and also your activity level. Now, you consider that 1,700. Let's knock down a couple hundred calories for fat loss, and now you're looking at only 1,500 calories. So that's the 2,200 calories versus the 1,500 calories that are going to net the same result, but it's extremely different. So if you look at it like this, that's why the calories that you see on the screen and you're burning in a 30-minute window, a very small window of your day, does not equal, it's not the end-all be-all. It doesn't mean that you need to start reaching for higher. You're more than likely where you need to be. You're more than likely doing enough. Like, have the confidence. Don't compare yourself to other people. You got this. This is just the science. Take care, Fit Fam.